So you don't know how my life has changed after me adding this 30% of 30K additional income to my 9 to 5.
Hey, what's going on, guys? So in today's video, we're actually going to be interviewing my client, Nick, and this is one of my favorite interviews that I've done so far. You guys are really going to enjoy this. We drop a ton of nuggets in this interview, not just about selling on Amazon, but about how you have to think, how you have to move, how you have to strategize in a way that will actually benefit you and help you win in the long run, where so many other people don't focus on these things and they end up failing. Now, Nick was an Uber driver, and then within his first 90 days, he hit his first 10K month, and then he hit his first 23K month, and now he's on track to hitting his first 30K month. But very, very solid business that he has built so far. I cannot wait for you guys to watch this interview. It is going to be longer, but with that being said, for those of you that are willing to stay until the end, this video or this interview will be incredibly valuable. Can't wait for you guys to watch it. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Everything started right after college. I have a background in digital marketing. So I went to school for digital marketing, and I landed an opportunity for a company in New York working in the e-commerce field, especially with Amazon. So I became a PPC specialist. So at the time, associate, I'm doing this entry-level job. And I had a side hustle from my college years. I was doing Uber, so I'm an Uber driver. I still have my car and my TLC plates because in New York everything is regulated. So when you have a TLC plate, you don't want to get rid of it. I still have it. So imagine driving 10 hours a day. My back, my knees were done, and I said I need to replace this side hustle. I need to make additional income that does not require me to drive because I'm done. So at that point, I was already involved with the processes and the campaigns at work, and I saw all the budget that I was managing. And I saw the revenue, how much these products were actually making. I was like, this is it. I need to learn because I had this background from the other side of the equation. I see how these companies build the campaigns and everything behind the scenes for the ads. I don't really necessarily know how to sell on Amazon. That's a whole different spectrum. So that's when I started consuming knowledge like a crazy person. Every single day, day in and day out, learning. I came across your videos and some other videos. And after I got all the information that I possibly could, and I kind of like got the idea, I was like, okay, how much can I actually afford to lose? What's my risk tolerance?
Yeah.
And when I gave myself that number, I said, okay, now let me just invest and be part of a community. I remember that's something I told you. I want to be part of a community. You actually asked me if I was a salesman, like, are you trying to sell me something? So no, I'm actually asking you because I want to be part of a community. I just don't want to buy something. I want to be part of something that allows me to interact. So after you replied to me, I made a decision, joined your program, and the rest is history. Started replacing these cycles. So I still do drive Uber sometimes. I wanted to reach this point of forcing myself out of it. And I think I'm at that point now that my Amazon business requires and demands more attention from me, and it's natural too. And sometimes I see myself not even driving my car anymore. So I'm actually now thinking about renting it, which is an additional income right there.
Dude, I love that. I love that you're in a position where you're working this job, which people think like, oh, it's just driving. It's like, no, dude, that's hard on your body. So many hours driving around, that is hard on your body. It's hard on you mentally. You're like, all right, I need to make a change. And then you figured out an avenue and you just went all in. And I mean, the results pretty much speak for themselves. Like, tell us, like, what's your highest rolling 30 days?
Last month, $22,000. And that was because
$22,000.
I ran out of inventory, kind of like mid-month, like day 20 of the month. I ran out of inventory. And at that point, I didn't have the time, the bandwidth to go out and look for more because I do a combination of things. So I kind of like say, okay, let me just, because I actually averaged that amount. I kind of took myself step by step by step. My first month, 10K. I was happy with it. Second month, 20, because I kept, okay, let me just test. Let me buy a little more. And then third month now, I'm on track to do 30, God willing, if things play out the way I want, because I'm actually facing some of the many hiccups, facing a little case of, that I can explain if we have the time. So, but on track for 30 right now.
And how long did that take you to get there from when you joined the program? Or, yeah, you can tell me when you joined the program or when you started implementing, because I know there's a learning phase, right? So we have to kind of consume the information and then let's go implement. So what was that timeline for you to the first 10K?
Once I started being really intentional, it took me about 3 to 4 weeks. But
Wow.
I joined your program in at the end of February, very end of like 28th, something like that. And I kind of took a month and a half to set everything up. I remember telling you I need more time because I'm getting everything up to speed. I wanted to create a whole structure. I didn't use one. I did not want to use my personal name. That was my personal preference, right? Because I know you can go without it.
Right way to
It was my personal preference, right? And I told you about it. So let me give you more time. You kind of told me, yes, I can give you more time, and you actually did. But at the same time, think about the momentum and the things that you can lose in the process. Like sometimes it's better to grab things right there and there and work your way around it with them. You know, you don't pause life and fix one thing and then go to the other. Just kind of make it work. So I actually did that. It took me a month and a half. And once I had everything in place, I was like, okay, let me now do some really good work. And I was a little anxious at that time because I was like, okay, I don't want to lose my opportunity to come to you with and use the mentorship and use the one-on-one and the reviewing of the products and all that. I felt like I was falling behind for wasting some from investing some time in forming my entity and all the stuff that comes with it. Another learning process and learning curve that I had to. But then after I actually sat down and said, okay, let me start looking for products. Let me see how this works. Let me consume the knowledge in this program. It took me about 3 weeks of consistent work to start seeing actually results. But I'm not gonna lie, it was a little like, am I actually going to find a product? 3 weeks sitting down on my computer, reverse sourcing, going here, going there, shaking hands. I went to suppliers, I shook hands. I will go to places, say, hey, I'm a business. This is what I do. I love going in person. I love shaking hands. And I know there's something about it. You can be measured, you can be judged. Some people say that it's better to just call, send an email. Yes, but I love going in person, shaking hands. I love the interaction. I went to wholesalers. They walk me through their warehouses. This is what I sell. And then based on that would determine if it makes sense to me. I ended up going to Queens, far in Queens. I went to many different places, just looking for opportunities around my area. Any single place of business, I will walk in and start scanning. So that came into my mind. And I told you at one point, I sent you a text, I said, bro, this is consuming me. Like there's not I can't even go to the supermarket now and not think about money or not money, not think about finding a product because this is beyond money. This is greater than money. This is pursuing a higher and, greater goal, which is forming something, which is what got me into this. But yeah, to your question, about 3-4 weeks of consistent work.
So there's a lot to unpack there, and that's funny you bring that up because that was what I was going to bring up. But one thing that I noticed about you, and maybe this is, you can give me a little bit more information on this, but you kind of give me this vibe like this is fun. I'm having like you're having a good time. Like, dude, every time that I go to the store, I can't stop thinking about finding products or this or that. And it's like, you give me that vibe, like this is fun for you. And this is a big, like, kind of something that people don't really understand. It's like, okay, Jose, dude, you're going to go 10 times farther because you're having a good time doing, you see the opportunity. Yes, it's a business, but you don't see it as like you're suffocating it, right? Like, oh my God, I have to make this work today, right? And a lot of people come into this business with like, if I'm not making this work today, then it's not going to work. So because you enjoy the process of building this business significantly more, you can go 10 times farther than the person who's coming in and they're bringing in all of this desperate energy, hoping that they're going to make it work. And then like you said, you still drive Uber. I think it's a smart way to do things, because another thing is like people will come in, let me quit my job, and now I have to make this work. And it's like, well, now you just added so much stress. So then you can't kind of enjoy this process and build it for the long term. And, but yeah, kind of give me your thoughts on that. And then I'll touch on you going to wholesalers in person.
My family calls me the working man. I just enjoy everything that comes into putting in the hard work. And that's one of the things that attracted me to your program. There's no shiny object being sold. I don't buy into, oh, you're going to work from the beach. That's beautiful. But even if I had the opportunity, I wouldn't do it. I'm obsessed with building what I'm after. And I come from my background, I'm Dominican. You don't speak that. Or at least I did not have that information. How do you even start a business? You are built and trained to work for a company. This is so much fun because I get to be on both sides of the equation now. And yes, it was a progressive, I take risk, but it was a calculated one. I was like, okay, this is how much I make on average doing Uber. Can I replace that income? How many products do I have to sell? If I get this ticket item, if I get a $30 item, how many products do I have to sell? What about if I get a $50 item? So I actually only have to sell this amount to start replacing my income, right? So that was the thinking process. As soon as I started doing that, I sent it to Amazon, and I was send it to Amazon, see the sales coming in, and still do Uber on the weekends and get these three sources of income. And I was enjoying it. But then I said, okay, let me implement the whole thing. Let me just do RA. Started going to places. I would, for fun, I would take my girlfriend, drive 30, 40 minutes deep in Jersey, scouting products, looking for scanning, like a whole afternoon. And we will go eat, have fun, sing songs in the car, go from one location to another, scanning, scanning, scanning. Oh, this makes sense. I did it so many times that became something natural, and I made mistakes. I have here $800 worth of inventory that I couldn't sell because in the process, I allow myself to make mistakes. I had you, but this is something personal. I always thought that I had the potential to do anything I wanted, but fear always took over. Like, what about if? What if? What if? What if I lose? What if I? So in this process, I'm gonna be gentle with myself and allow myself to make mistakes. So I started doing. I think we only work on like few products, and then I said, even though I have them, which makes me feel secure, let me do this one. And I allow myself to make calculated mistakes. I took calculated risks, and then from there things started, progressing. I one or two, three products that didn't work out so well for me at the beginning, but it was something that I could manage.
I think you did it exactly how you're supposed to do it, progressing slowly. Some people will come in and like, look, let's talk about your buying certain products that didn't work out, right? Some people come in with the mentality of like, I don't want to buy one single bad product. And I'm like, I hate to break it to you, but business is not like a perfect world where there is going to be no mistakes. That doesn't exist. Any business that you see, there has been mistakes. Even retail businesses, which essentially is exactly what we're doing, but any retail business that you see, they have products that have been on the shelf for way too long, or products that are not profitable, or products that are breaking even, and they just bought too many of them. But if you don't allow yourself to make these mistakes, it's like, how much can you learn? But since you did allow yourself to make these small mistakes as you're kind of picking up momentum, it's like, well, those little mistakes, they may seem like, oh, I'm taking losses, but if you look at them, it's like, I'm gaining experience. You're building you're building your experience, and these lessons are going to be way more valuable down the road than the few bucks that you lost. Because even if you have, let's say, $800 worth of inventory in your house, you can still sell that on eBay. You can still sell that on Marketplace. If you have a Walmart account, you can still sell that. Even if you break even, the lessons that you will learn are more valuable than the few dollars you're going to make on those products. And that's what people need to understand.
100%. I decided that was actually my thinking process. I can sell it in another of the e-commerce sites. I left it right there. I have to look at them every single day. It
Yep.
reminds me that right there. It's a learning process. It was something that I just learned from.
What's your business looking like? Because I know we started with arbitrage, but then I know you transitioned into wholesale the right way. And then you're doing a little bit of arbitrage, RA, OA, and wholesale. Are you doing everything, or what does your business look like?
So at the beginning, you recommended me to do online arbitrage, given my how my day-to-day is a little hectic. I work in this 9 to 5, even though it's a hybrid model. I work from home 3 times a week. So I said, I think it's better if you start with an OA, right, and then pivot from there, which is something that I did. My first product, the one that brings most of my revenue, was actually found doing reverse sourcing, and then actually use one of the methods. And I found this product very, very far away on Google, like not like page one, talking about like research.
Mm-hmm.
So, but after that, I also wanted to get more experience, more reps. And I started going to places and doing RA. So I started buying products from different places around my area. I visited all of them, from Walmart, Target, uh, local suppliers, far away discount store, things like that. Started just going scanning. I became obsessed with it, and then from there, started also calling, like I mentioned before, opening accounts with local beauty supplies, wholesalers, and that's exactly how I started, scaling my business.
So you talked earlier about how you went like face to face with the
Yeah.
supplier, which sounds very scary for a lot of people who aren't in this business. But I think it goes like this: in person, like you go meet them in person is number one. Everybody says, oh, call them. That's number one. If you have the ability to go in person, there is no better way to contact a supplier and build a relationship, because one, they're local, but two, they have a face, right? Instead of all the calls or all the emails. So it may seem I feel like you have the perfect personality for that. But even if people are watching this and they don't have that personality, they may be a little bit more nervous, dude. That is the best way to go. Then call, right? So I'm not surprised that you went in person and then you found some great products that we reviewed together, and things seem
Got
like they're
all
going.
my paperwork in a folder. I put a shirt on, like business casual, jeans, but a shirt, something that looked, and I went there with the biggest smile and say, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is for my company. I created a whole entire a blurb, like an idea of what I'm after. And every single supplier, depending on the type of supplier, I would actually craft my story. If it's a gear supply, this is what I do. If it's like into general merch, this is what I do. If it was a supplier for well-being, this is what my company does. Always talking about in plural. It's not just me. This is what my team. This is what we do. And I would love to work with you. And this is how we can benefit, and which is what we can do. I will go and shake hands and kind of take it from there. So that's what I did. There's still a long way to go. I don't think I still can do way more. Continue to add more different products. I've been lucky enough. The product that I got, you even got surprised. You say, "Dude, how's your margin on that product?" And I say, "It's about 35%." And
Yeah.
I kind of after I buy a little test, a few orders, sold it. Let me just double it now. Sold it. Let me just increase to the point that $30,000 in sales in 1 month. That single product, different variations, and was a calculated risk that took time. I did not want anything fast. I don't want to do it in a day. No, and this is bigger than me. This is just replacing that side job that I told you. But also, I already had a business in mind that I wanted to do, and the idea was to bring this additional income to pivot and use it for these other things. So you don't know how my life has changed after me adding this 30% of 30K additional income to my 9 to 5 and Uber. It's just, and it's not about money. This is about creating something that my family can benefit from. I've been here for now more than 4 months, right? And you respond to my questions. I love sharing my experiences on the group chat, on the account that we have as a community, on the community. Everybody there is trying to help. You see the intention. You see how people comment and say, "You go, keep selling." Like good luck to you. So I'm always trying to motivate, impact someone on that community there, and that's what I was actually looking for, right? So I think I'm enjoying this process, and I'm excited for what's to come.
Yeah, man. People love when you post on the Facebook
Mhm.
group.
Yeah,
You post status updates, you give people encouragement, and I think that's great. And I completely agree. I mean, when somebody posts, even like some people just recently, the last couple of days, hey, first 3 sales, hey, first sale, and everybody's like, dude, that's awesome, that's motivating. That's why I always encourage everybody in the program. It's like, dude, post your updates, like even if it. Because one thing that I don't like is when people like kind of diminish their wins, right? You see somebody posting, maybe like you post 23K and then somebody's like, well, I don't really want to post my first sale or my first week. And
yeah,
it's like, you're not posting your 23K to diminish their wins. It's to motivate them
yeah,
to look, dude, I was exactly where you were a couple of months ago, and now I'm doing 23K. Keep on going.
yeah,
But one thing that I want to touch on is what you said earlier about like, things have really changed for you since you joined the program and you started this business. And, it's kind of giving you some relief from that job. And dude, that is exactly why I do what I do. Like, so that moved me when you said that, because it's like I relate to that, right? Like I'm like, dude, like I just needed to build something that could get me some time back. Like somebody said something in the comments, one of my last videos. It's like, I don't do it for the money, I do it for the freedom. And
yeah,
I'm like, that's it. That's exactly it right there. And if everybody could just kind of bet on themselves, like double down on yourself and give yourself a real legitimate chance, every single person watching this has the ability to get closer and closer to that goal. 4 months ago, you did not have a business. 4 months
yeah,
ago, you didn't even have a single sale. And now you're doing 23K. You're helping and supporting your current income to the point where you don't have to go and Uber all the time. And it's like,
yeah.
that's amazing. That is fucking amazing, dude. So I'm so happy that has been your path, dude. It's amazing. It's like I said, that really moved me.
Yep.
But
So right now we're day 10 of the month. Today's August 10th, and I'm already at 12K. So like I
Yeah.
said, on track to 30, God willing. And yeah, it's not just the money. The journey has been great. 4 months ago, I didn't even know anything about business structure. Now opportunities are endless because now you know what is required to. It's just life changing to me. So keep doing what you're doing. Thank you for everything.
Everything that you've been doing has been great. But there have, like you mentioned earlier, like you had some struggles in the beginning finding products. You
Yeah.
bought some bad buys. You're going through a counterfeit complaint right now that you're dealing with, and we're kind of working through. You know, sometimes people will come into this business, and as soon as they start feeling some sort of resistance, they kind of turtle up, and they're too scared, right? They don't want to keep going. And what kind of has kept you from, like, even though you're experiencing all the similar issues that everybody comes into this business with, what do you think was the thing or the driver that kind of pushed you forward to still be like, I'm still going to keep going? And then you hit 10K, then you hit 20K, and now you're on track for 30K.
Like I told you at the beginning, I'm this person that was always slowed down by the perception or the idea that you create in your mind of what if I don't want to fail, I don't want to lose this amount of
Mhm.
money. What if I fail? What if? Because I wanted to have everything perfect and everything crafted to the point that there was no losses. I had the knowledge in my mind, but I didn't have receipts to show for it. I didn't have success stories, right? But I knew I had what it took to make something happen. I just didn't want to put myself out there. So the moment I told myself, it's okay. This is what worked for me. It's okay to make mistakes. Allow yourself to make mistakes. And what I do is I break everything down to pieces that I can manage and make something so simple in my mind. Like the biggest problem. Okay, what's the worst that can happen? Okay, how can I overcome that? Or what's the next step after if it happens? So I break down things, situations, scenarios into pieces that I destroy the wall, I destroy the monster to the point that it's okay. I already know. All right. And again, it's not like $1 million, it's calculated. It's something that I feel like I can digest and manage. So I don't think I have tapped into my full potential of how much heat I can take, you know. But this is how I do the day to day. Okay, this is what I'm about to do. What are the different avenues? What if, what if, what if? How can you work with it? How can you manage? Can you do this? Can you do this? So I ask myself these questions. I get in tune and I break it down and I destroy that monster, and that monster is here. And then after that, it's just let's go. And I discovered that the idea of losing or going through challenges is more scary than the challenge itself. Because once I was facing this, once I bought the product, I submit my invoice to Ungate myself because he says, it didn't say restricted, but he said that it's locked, right? Ungate yourself. I buy $800 worth of products. I submit this legit invoice from a legit supplier. And then after they ungate me, you see restricted. Like, okay, what am I going to do now? Right? That was a mistake, a beginning, from a beginner mistake.
Mhm.
Uh, so, okay, that's it. It's a calculated risk. And I know I could manage it. Okay, what can I do from that? From here, I can sell it here. I can sell it here. I can sell it here. Okay, that's fine. Also, since I'm already using somebody else's money, have a whole year to figure it out. Things are okay. Keep moving. Keep going. Keep making other wins. You just want a little more wins than losses here. Then just get lose one, two, three times, but try to get over in terms of numbers. That numbers game, right? Like 10 wins, 2 losses. It's okay. The average is good. So basically, that's how I was able to overcome my own fear by just breaking things down to pieces and being gentle. Say, hey, you're doing a good job. Everything you do with such passion. You do it with your best of your abilities, your intention. You're not doing anything just because I pick up the trash with the intention of picking up the trash. I don't do anything just because, even when nobody's watching. I'm doing it to the best of my ability every single day. Everything I do is with the best of my abilities. So if I make a mistake, it was not because you wanted to make that mistake. So be gentle. It's okay. You'll do it better next time. So that's something I learned through this process. And I'm happy I learned that. You understand? So I
That
hope it helps someone.
massive, massive gem.
Yeah.
Hopefully, people are paying attention. That is, I think a lot of people can relate to that fear. And that's something I went through as well. And it's like I kind of work my way through it. It's very, very similar to you. But there's this Seneca quote. I don't know if you're familiar with Stoicism, but Seneca says, "We suffer more in imagination than we do in reality," and it's like that's exactly. Oh, there you go, and um, and it's so true. And it's like I think that that's what holds a lot of people back. It's not they catastrophize too much, right? So they build up this big scary monster in their head, even though what is actually happening is one product tanked. One product tanked, that's the reality. And what ends up going on in their head, it's like this product tanked, that means every single product's gonna tank. That means I'm gonna lose all my money, I'm gonna lose this whole business, Amazon's gonna crumble, this, and that, right? So then they turn this problem into this massive problem. And I think if they work through the problems very similar to how you're saying it, it's like you kind of bring yourself back to reality and you realize like it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
It's one little mistake. And if
Yeah.
you can continue to show up and get those daily wins, little wins, and talk to yourself in that manner that is like you do, like talk to yourself like, dude, give yourself some grace.
Yeah.
That will go a long fucking way. But if
100%.
people are so like almost like they're so hard on themselves, and then they're scared on top of that. They're catastrophizing on top of that. And then they're not putting in the daily effort to get those wins every single day. So they're taking L after L after L on top of these other things. It's like, well, no fucking wonder you can't make it work. You're a fucking mess. It's
Correct.
like, take a step back. It's not that big of a deal. And just take it one step at a time.
Yeah. And something else, uh, this is not a nutrition and fitness video, but if you are into working out, you understand the concept behind building muscle, and what is required is time under tension. You need to put the muscle under stress to make it grow. So once you understand what's the concept behind building an ounce of muscle, you see that A, discipline. Show up every single day, even if you don't see it. B, not necessarily in the right order, but I'm just telling you what I got from it. Delay gratification. It'll take you time, 7, 8 years to build a physique, 10 years. So time under tension. You need to work under pressure and still put a smile, show up. Another rep. So those concepts behind any discipline, any sport can actually, if you were able to just get out of your own self and translate it into real life, you can apply everything that you do every single day into anything you do. That sounded like a tongue twister. I think you can make things work. So basically, I took all the knowledge I got from working out for a long time now, and it's kind of like the same thing, It's kind of like the same thing. Time under pressure. Do this, do that. I know the rep. Let's try it this way. Okay, work under pressure. Let's do this. Delay gratification. You don't need to win today. So basically, that's what it is.
Yeah, I think that the people need to be able to increase their capacity to handle stress.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, and I don't know if you watch some of my mindset videos, but it's like those real talk videos. It's like that's what I'm trying to get people to realize. It's like you will only get the results that are equivalent to the stage you're in, right? So if you lack discipline, you're not organized, you have no structure, you fall apart at the first sign of struggle. It's like how could you possibly think that you're going to come in and make this work? It's like you have to do that internal work. And as you level up yourself, it will reflect into everything else that you do. So essentially what you're saying is like how you do one thing is how you do everything. And it's like,
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more.
Let me just throw a little piece here. I did not want to do FBM. I know you're probably a little over the time mark. I did not want to do a lot of FBM because I wanted to be a little more hands off, right? But then you kind of suggested, dude, that product is good for FBM. Why don't you give it a try? So I saw myself testing all the variations and doing a lot of orders to the point that I had to wake up earlier. I work at 9, right? So this is me waking up at 6:30, getting my morning routine, my black coffee, and then sitting on my computer fulfilling these orders. And I noticed that the way that I make these packages, that I'm actually sealing the package, is not efficient. I'm just taking a lot of time. Say, okay, how can I improve this? Like even how to properly seal the bag, because I found like I was not putting the product in the right place, and then I had to flip it around and twist it, and then okay, I have to do this manually. This is too much of work. Then I bought myself a little scanner, to make it faster. So I started evolving the process, the day-to-day process. Okay, this is what I did yesterday. How can I improve this today?
Jose, what do you think your path would have looked like if you never joined the program? If you just tried to go on your own and just stick to YouTube videos, like what do you think that these last 4 months would have looked like?
Being honest, knowing my mentality and my drive, I would have tried to make it work. I would have tried to go after it. But the amount of mistakes and the setback and the speed wouldn't be the same. Like tenfold my speed here. I was able to scale faster, to be part of a community that reduces some of the anxiety and questions that you don't have if you were working by yourself. There's only so much people are saying on YouTube, right? So when you have someone that went through things and you can ask direct questions, and that person from experience can tell you, this is what I did when this happened to me, and this is the case. At one time I went through this, and this is how I actually solved it. It's a massive win, and something that does not compare when you're just watching and reading through comments to see if someone asked that question and someone actually replied, or going through forums like forgot the name of this app. Maybe you can remember. We're going through forums and just reading. So exponentially faster, 100% of the way. So no comparison. I can even tell you, if I would have been able to sell 10K my first month, it would have probably took me longer and more losses, more than $800 in stock inventory behind me. So I'm happy actually joining the program.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that, man. There's a lot of people starting Amazon FBA right now, right? And a lot of people want to get to their first 10K month similar to you.
Yeah.
You can give them one piece of advice, just one, that will help them go from where they are right now and help them get exactly where they want to get to with Amazon. It could be anything mindset related, personal development related. I just want to hear your best piece of advice to help somebody go from 0 to their first 10K month. Only one piece of advice. What would you tell them?
There is a path already traced. Go replicate. You don't need to come up with something new. Go replicate. And then during that process, put your own colors and create your own structure after. So if I had to pick one, I'll do some reverse sourcing real quick, find something, test, replicate the win. That's what I would say.
I love that answer though. But and that applies for everything. It's like you don't need to go recreate the wheel. Like if you're just a normal person wanting to make some extra income or wanting to get ahead, it's like, dude, there have been so many people who have done it already. Find the path and just follow it and redo it again. If it has worked for somebody else, it will work for you. Now, if you want to be a part of the one-on-one mentorship program that I do offer that's helping my clients go from 0 to their first 10K per month in record time, you're going to want to click that first link in the description. It's going to give you all of the details that you need to know. But keep in mind, guys, this is true one-on-one coaching. I am helping you personally, no VAs, nothing like that. I'm not throwing you into a group and you're hoping for the best. I'm not telling you to show up to busy Zoom calls and hoping that your question gets answered. This is true one-on-one mentorship, and that's why my clients get results just like all of these that I'm flashing on screen right now in record time. So with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the interview, and I will see you guys in the next one.